He killed his homie running from the cops, bonded out for $19 million with Youngboy's money, took a plea, came home, and now they hit him again. The bond gone, the freedom gone, and now NBA Ddawg is about to get cooked. Before we even get into this video, I need y'all to understand something, gang. What I'm about to tell you is absolutely insane. NBA Ddawg, Youngboy's right-hand man, the same dude who walked out on a $19.7 million bond, is facing life in prison. And bro, this ain't even about the original case no more. The feds picked this back up and they charging him again for the same situation. I'm talking about a man who literally bonded out for almost $20 million, took a plea deal, came home, thought he was good, and now they saying, nah, we want you back. And I'm gonna break down exactly why they doing this, what Ddawg posted about it, and how this whole thing connects to Youngboy getting that Trump pardon. Because trust me, fam, this ain't no coincidence. This is straight calculated, and I got all the receipts. So buckle up, because this story is crazy. Let me break it down for y'all from the very beginning. Because to understand why they doing Ddawg like this now, you gotta understand what happened back in 2022, the beginning. So check it, we going back to 2022. NBA Ddawg, real name Darian Bailey, that's the government name for y'all who don't know, was one of Youngboy's closest homies, like we talking real day ones, not no industry friends or clout chasers. This was somebody who was really in the trenches with YB before all the fame and fortune type shit. Now in 2022, Ddawg was involved in a high-speed chase with the police in Louisiana. And bro, this wasn't no regular traffic stop gone wrong. This was full-blown running from 12, pushing speeds that you don't even want to know about, cars swerving all through traffic, the whole nine. The type of chase you see in movies, no cap. But here's where everything went left, and I mean completely left. During this chase, Ddawg had somebody with him. One of his own homies was in that car. And when you running from the police at them type of speeds, anything can happen, gang. That's just the reality of the situation. The car crashed, and his homie, his friend who was riding with him, didn't make it. We talking about somebody who was in the circle, somebody who trusted Ddawg enough to be in that car with him. And just like that, in the blink of an eye during that crash, his life was over, gone forever. Now the police, they immediately hit Ddawg with charges. We talking vehicular homicide, fleeing from law enforcement, reckless endangerment, the whole package. These the type of charges that come with serious time, fam. Like we ain't talking about no slap on the wrist, we talking about decades behind bars if he caught a conviction. The streets started talking immediately. Some people was saying he shouldn't have been running. Some people were saying the police shouldn't have been chasing him like that, knowing somebody else was in the car. But regardless of all that back and forth, the fact remained. His homie was dead, and Ddawg was sitting in a cell facing some of the most serious charges you can catch. But regardless of all that back and forth, the fact remained. His homie was dead, and Ddawg was sitting in a cell facing some of the most serious charges you can catch. But that's when things got real interesting, y'all. Because this is where Youngboy Never Broke Again steps into the picture in a major way. When Ddawg couldn't make bail, because let's be real, who got that type of bread just sitting around? Youngboy did something that most people would never do. He put up $19.7 million to bond his homie out. Read that number again, $19.7 million. Let me put that in perspective for y'all. That's not 20 bands, that's not 200 bands, that's not even 2 million. That's damn near $20 million that Youngboy put up to get his homie out of jail. That's the type of loyalty you don't see every day in this industry, for real. That's that real one shit that people rap about but don't actually live by. Now, the reason that bond was so high is because of how serious them charges was. We talking about a death involved, fleeing from police, all type of aggravating factors that made the judge set that bond astronomical. Most people would have just stayed in jail and fought the case from the inside, but Ddawg had a real one who was willing to put up generational wealth to get him out. So Ddawg bonds out on that crazy number, and now he got to deal with the case. His lawyers sat him down and had a real talk with him. They told him, look bro, if you take this to trial and lose, you could be looking at 30, 40, maybe even 50 years. But if you take a plea deal, we might be able to get you something way lighter. And that's exactly what Ddawg did. He took the plea deal. Now, we don't know the exact terms of what he agreed to. The courts kept some of that sealed. But the word was that he was going to do some time, but nothing close to what he would have gotten if he went to trial and lost. We talking maybe 5 to 10 years instead of the rest of his life, you feel me? So Ddawg took the plea, did his time, or at least started doing his time, and then something happened that nobody expected. He came home, Whether it was good behavior, time served, or some legal technicality his lawyers found, somehow Ddawg ended up back on the streets way earlier than people thought he would be. The streets was talking. People was like, damn, he really made it out of that situation. You had people congratulating him, people saying he got lucky, all types of reactions. But most importantly, Ddawg was free. He was back with his family, back in the studio possibly, back to living life outside them prison walls. And for a minute, it seemed like Ddawg had really dodged a major bullet. Like, yeah, he lost his homie in that crash, and that's something he gotta live with forever, but at least legally speaking, it seemed like the worst was behind him. But here's where it gets crazy, y'all, and I mean absolutely insane. Fast forward to recently. We talking about just recently in 2025. And the authorities done picked this case back up. They charging Ddawg again for the same incident from 2022. The same crash, the same charges, the same situation that he already took a plea deal for and did time for. Now, when Ddawg found out about this, he immediately took to social media. And bro, you could feel the frustration, the anger, the disbelief in his posts. He wrote something along the lines of, I already took a plea for this. I already did my time. How y'all gonna charge me again for the same thing? This ain't even legal. And he's right to be confused and pissed off because in normal circumstances, there's something called double jeopardy. That's a constitutional protection that says you can't be tried twice for the same crime. So if you already caught a case, took a plea, and did your time, they can't just come back and be like, nah, we want another bite at the apple. But here's what's happening, and this is where you gotta understand how the system really works. The authorities are finding ways around that double jeopardy clause. They might be saying it's new evidence, or they might be bringing federal charges when the first case was state charges. Or they might be saying that the plea deal was somehow invalid or that Ddawg violated the terms. Whatever legal gymnastics they doing, the bottom line is this: Ddawg is facing life in prison now. Not 5 years, not 10 years, not even 20 years. They talking about life. As in, he might never see the streets again, as in, they trying to make sure he dies behind them prison walls. In his posts, Ddawg was basically like, I don't understand what's happening. I did everything I was supposed to do. I took accountability, I took the plea, I did the time, and now y'all moving the goalposts. And thousands of people in the comments was agreeing with him, saying this looked like some targeted harassment type shit. Now here's where we gotta connect the dots because this is where the real story is, fam. And I want y'all to pay close attention to this part because it's gonna make everything make sense. Remember how I mentioned Youngboy earlier? Well, let's talk about what's been happening with YB recently. Youngboy Never Broke Again has been fighting federal cases for years now. Gun charges, all types of legal problems that had him on house arrest, had him fighting for his freedom constantly. But then something major happened. Donald Trump, before he left office, and then when he came back into office, ended up pardoning Youngboy. I'm talking about a full presidential pardon that basically wiped away them federal charges. Youngboy walked away from cases that could have had him locked up for decades. Now when Trump pardoned YB, the feds was sick. I'm talking about absolutely livid because they had been building cases against Youngboy for years, spending all this time and resources trying to get him off the streets. And then, with one signature, all that work went out the window. So now here's what I think is really happening with Ddawg. And I ain't the only one who sees this pattern. The authorities can't get Youngboy no more. That pardon is like a force field. They can't touch him for them charges they was building. So what do they do instead? They go after the people around him. And Ddawg, he's the easiest target. He already got a case on his record, he already got a conviction, and now they found some way, whether it's legal or questionable, to bring them charges back up and hit him even harder than before. Think about it, gang. Ddawg just happened to beat his case, comes home, starts being seen with Youngboy again in videos and on social media, and then suddenly the authorities remember, oh yeah, we need to charge him again for that thing from 2022. That timing is too convenient. This is what they call pressure by association. Since they can't get Youngboy, they're gonna make everyone around him suffer. They're gonna make it so that being associated with YB comes with consequences. They're gonna lock up his homies, his team, everybody in his circle, until either YB is isolated with nobody around him, or until being around YB becomes so dangerous legally that people start distancing themselves. It's a psychological warfare tactic for real. They saying, we might not be able to touch Youngboy directly because of that pardon, but we can make his life miserable by taking away everyone he cares about. And Ddawg is the first major example of this strategy in action. They using him to send a message not just to Youngboy, but to everyone in that camp. The message is, that pardon don't protect y'all. We can still destroy your lives if we want to. So now Ddawg is sitting in a cell again, facing a life sentence for charges he thought he already handled. His family is devastated. His kids might grow up without their father, and all because he was loyal to his homie and caught a case that he already took responsibility for. The hip-hop community been reacting to this in real time. You got some artists speaking out saying this is harassment and targeted persecution. You got lawyers breaking down the legal aspect, trying to understand how this is even possible. You got fans divided between people who think Ddawg deserves whatever he gets because his actions led to someone dying, and people who think the system is doing him dirty by charging him twice for the same crime. Youngboy himself ain't said much publicly about this situation yet, at least not directly, but you know he feeling some type of way. That's his homie. That's somebody he put up $19.7 million for, and now that person is facing life in prison potentially because of their association. This also raises bigger questions about loyalty in the music industry. Because think about it, if you was in Ddawg's position, would you feel some type of way about Youngboy right now? On one hand, YB did put up an insane amount of money to bond him out, which is more than most rappers would ever do. But on the other hand, if your legal problems are getting worse because of your association with someone who got pardoned, would you start feeling like you the sacrificial lamb? I ain't saying Ddawg feels that way. We don't know what he thinking privately. But these are the type of thoughts that gotta be going through his mind while he's sitting in that cell waiting to see if he gonna spend the rest of his life behind bars. And let's keep it 100. His homie that died in that crash, that family is probably watching all this too. They probably got mixed feelings because on one hand, Ddawg is being punished for their loved one's death. But on the other hand, the way it's happening might not feel like justice. It might just feel like the system using their tragedy as an excuse to go after someone for completely different reasons. Now let's zoom out and talk about what this really means for the culture. Because this Ddawg situation is bigger than just one person's legal problems. What we're seeing right now is a pattern that's been going on in hip-hop for decades. The authorities have always used association as a weapon against artists and their crews. We saw it with BMF, we saw it with Murder Inc., we saw it with Cash Money, and now we're seeing it with NBA and Youngboy's camp. The strategy is always the same. If we can't get the main target, we'll get everyone around them until the main target is isolated or until they slip up and we can finally grab them. It's a game of patience and pressure, and the system got all the time and resources in the world to play it. What's different now is that we got social media to see it happening in real time. Ddawg can post his frustration immediately. Fans can analyze the timeline and call out the suspicious timing. Lawyers can hop on Twitter and YouTube and explain why something seems legally questionable. The transparency is different even though the tactics are the same. For Youngboy specifically, this gotta be a wake-up call. That pardon might have saved him personally, but it painted a target on everyone around him. Every member of his team, every artist signed to his label, every homie from the hood who still associates with him. They all potentially at risk now because the authorities can't touch YB directly. And that's a heavy burden to carry, gang. Imagine knowing that your friends are catching extra legal pressure just because they loyal to you. Imagine watching someone who put their life on the line for you now facing life in prison partially because of that association. That's the type of situation that can eat at somebody mentally, no matter how tough they are. For Ddawg, if he really do end up getting life in prison for this, it's over. His kids grow up without him. He miss everything. Birthdays, graduations, weddings, grandkids potentially. All his dreams and plans for when he got out that first time, dead. Everything he wanted to do with his second chance at freedom, gone. And the coldest part about all this is that even if you think Ddawg deserved punishment for his role in his homie's death, which is a fair perspective to have, what's happening now ain't really about justice for that victim. It's about sending a message to Youngboy and anyone else who think they can beat the system. The message is clear. You might get a pardon, you might beat your case, you might think you got away, but we will find someone to punish. We will make somebody pay. And if we can't get you, we'll get everyone you love until there's nobody left. So that's the story, y'all. NBA Ddawg, a man who already took a plea deal and did time for a tragic car crash that killed his friend, is now being charged again and facing life in prison. The timing of these new charges, coming right after Youngboy got pardoned by Trump, is too suspicious to ignore. Whether you think Ddawg deserved this or not, whether you think the original charges were too light or the new charges are harassment, one thing is clear. This case is about way more than just one car crash in 2022. This is about the system showing that they don't forget, they don't forgive, and they will find a way to get you, even if it takes years and multiple attempts. For everyone in Youngboy's circle watching this play out, the message is loud and clear, that pardon don't protect y'all, and loyalty might end up costing you everything. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do y'all think they really going after Ddawg harder because they can't get Youngboy? Or is this just the justice system working how it's supposed to work? And what would you do if you was in Ddawg's position right now? Hit that subscribe button if you want more deep dives into what's really happening in hip-hop, because we just getting started. And free Ddawg, man. Whether you agree with his past decisions or not, what's happening to him right now should concern everybody who care about fairness in the legal system. I'm out. Peace.